As season 1 drew to a close, Nichelle Nichols was feeling unsure about continuing with the show. Despite the importance of her casting, she and George Takei were rarely given much agency in the show, instead relegated to background supporting roles in each story while Kirk, Spock and McCoy took centre stage. Since the debut episode, many of the cast had been receiving letters from avid fans of the show, writing to their favourite characters in the series. Leonard Nimoy received the most following his performance in The Naked Time. Nichols, however, believed she was receiving none, until she discovered NBC execs had ordered all of her letters to be withheld. While no explanation has been given for this, Nichols believed this order had racist intentions, which is not hard to believe. While performing in Star Trek, Nichols had also received several offers from musical theatre productions, which Nichols had a background in. Seeing prejudice from her current job and opportunities elsewhere, Nichols decided to leave the show. She handed in her letter of resignation to Gene Roddenberry. Roddenberry, shocked at this decision, asked Nichols to take the weekend, and if she still felt the same by the following Monday, he would accept the resignation. What happened next was truly a stranger-than-fiction event.
I believe it was an NAACP fundraiser, but it might not have been, but I think it was. And so I went to do this on that Saturday night, and I had just been taken to the dais and sat down when the organizer came over and said, "Miss Nichols, how are you?" and blah, blah, blah. And he said, listen, there's someone here who said he is your biggest fan, and he's looking chirpy, you know, and he said, and he's desperate to meet you. He really wants to meet you. So I said, certainly, and I stand up and turn, and I'm thinking, it's a Star Trek fan. He said, it's a Star Trek fan. I'm looking for a young man who's a Star Trek fan. I turn, and instead of fan, there's this face the world knows with this beautiful smile on it. And I remember thinking, whoever that fan is going to have to wait, because Dr. Martin Luther King, my leader, is walking toward me, not 10 feet away, with a beautiful smile on his face. And then this man says, "Yes, Miss Nichols, I am that fan. I am your best fan, your greatest fan. And my family are your greatest fans." He said, "We admire you greatly, you know." And he said some more things, and the manner in which you've created this role has dignity and so forth, and he said, you know, and before he said, I said, "Dr. King, thank you so much," and then I got the courage to say, "And I really am going to miss my co-stars." And he said, "What do you mean?" "Dead serious." "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I've had an off." He said, "You cannot." And I said, "Well, I'm going to leave Star Trek because I'm going to say have an offer to star in I never got that far. I said, "Well, I'm leaving Star Trek." He said, "You cannot. You cannot." And I felt like that little boy Willis. "What you talking about, Dr. King?" But you know I didn't say that. No. He said, "For the first time on television, we will be seen as we should be seen every day, as intelligent, quality, beautiful people who can sing, dance, but who can go into space, who can be lawyers, who can be teachers, who can be professors, who are in this day, and yet you don't see it on television until now." Whatever happened come Monday morning, I went to Gene, and I'm not sure to this day if I knew what I was going to say. And I told him what happened. And I said, "If you still want me to stay, I'll stay. I have to. And he took out my resignation, which was torn into 100 pieces, and handed me the pile. And we just stood there looking at each other. And I finally said, "Thank you, Gene." And he said, "Thank you, Nichelle."